You ever get that feeling when you pick up your instrument, you sit down, you start playing, you feel incredibly uninspired, or that what you're playing is uninteresting? Yeah, me too. And if you've been playing for a while, it's bound to happen. It's normal. Sometimes we just run out of creative ideas. Or sometimes it seems like everything we play just starts to sound the same. As musicians, we have a limited number of notes that we can play, so it's real easy to feel like we're getting trapped inside of a box. But there's a concept that really helps me get out of a rut, and I want to share that with you today, and hopefully it will help you get out of a rut too. This concept is about mixing modes into your chord progressions. I find it really adds another dimension and adds a lot more interest into what you're playing. Now you'll need to know your major scale to really understand and benefit from this concept. So if you don't know your major scale and the modes associated with it, please go learn that first and then come back to this video. So let's say we have a simple chord progression, a 1-5-4 chord progression in the key of A. So that's just the chords A, E, and D. Sounds good, has a nice little vibe to it, and it's definitely a classic Ionian mode sound, or the major sound. But now we want to build on this, and here's where we can add some flavor. So instead of staying in this Ionian mode, or major mood, let's start mixing in some other modal sounds. And since we have that happy major vibe already, let's contrast that with some darker tones. Let's add a little Dorian flavor into the mix. And before I show you the next example, let me show you an easy way to really bring out that modal sound. And this is where you really need to know your major scale and the modes associated with it. The fastest way to really make a mode pop is to play the 4 and 5 chords of the key you were in with the bass note playing the mode that you want underneath it. So our progression is in the key of A, and we want to add in the Dorian sound now. And so Dorian is the second mode of the major scale. So we're in the key of A, so that makes Dorian B. So we will put that B in our bass under our 4 and 5 chords, our D and our E chord, just like this. So now we have an easy way to really make the Dorian sound stand out. So let's play through our progression now, starting with our major sound and then moving into the Dorian mode. And here's a quick tip to make the mode sound even bigger. Right now, we're just using the guitar. But if you want a really big sound, use a bass guitar, playing that target bass note underneath, and that will really drive that modal sound home. Well, that sounds pretty interesting to me so far, but we can even take this further. Let's add another mode into the mix. One of the biggest concepts in the arts is contrast. Painters, photographers, artists, they all know this. Contrast is king. And it's the same thing in music. So we went from major mode into a minor mode, Dorian, and so now it only makes sense to move into another major mode to bring out some more contrast. Let's try doing a Lydian mode and see how that sounds. So we can keep building on this idea of contrast. So for the Lydian mode, which is one of my favorite modes, we're going to use that same easy, quick tip to make that modal sound really stand out. We're going to play the 4 and 5 chords from the key of A, which is the D chord and the E chord. Only this time, we're going to put the 4 chord in the bass. That's the Lydian mode. So we're going to put the D in the bass. So we'll have a D in the bass of D, which is just a D chord, and then we'll have D playing underneath that E chord. If you find putting that D bass note under the E with this shape is a little difficult, you can play it like this and it might make it a little easier for you. So now let's put it all together and let's see how it sounds. To me, that sounds a whole lot more interesting. It adds a lot more depth to that chord progression, at least to my ears, and it sounds a little more interesting, a little outside of the box, something that you wouldn't hear as often in a chord progression. So I hope you'll try this out the next time your chord progressions feel a little stale or a little uninteresting. To me, it breathes a little bit of fresh air into a chord progression and piques the listener's ear just a little bit more. If you found this video helpful and useful, please consider liking, subscribing to the 440 Club, and I'll see you all in the next video.